Devin McCourty's got 3 Super Bowl rings. He is announcing his retirement. He just did last week, and he is now joining us live. Served as a Patriot captain for 12 straight seasons. It is interesting. You didn't just play for them. You were a captain. And the Patriots have always been a franchise. Matt Slater, Devin McCourty, Gerard Mayo. They like older players, veteran players. And everybody says, oh, Aaron's going to go to the Jets. And I'm like, all their good players are kids. And like kids, I was talking last night, I had dinner with Will Blackman. He goes, when I came into the league, I didn't even know how to study film. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. So when you look at, let's say Aaron goes to the Jets, what do you think they'll look like?
I think it'll be interesting. I think when you look at the Jets team, they had a very talented defense, and they were in fights and battles and games because of how that defense played. And I get that the guys on the team are young, but I think that also gives you an opportunity as a veteran quarterback to go in and instill exactly what you want from those guys, how to study the playbook, how to prepare, what we need to do before and after practice. He would have the opportunity to really mold that team. Now, I think what you said earlier, the AFC is a different animal. It's a different beast. Each week, you're battling just to make it in the playoffs, get into the wild card. A little different in the NFC. So I think that would be the test. Even if they go out there and play their best football, are they going to be a team that is a real contender in the AFC? I don't know. I couldn't give you that answer right now because there's a lot of teams that are talented, that have quarterbacks, that have coaches that are now trying to put it all together. This would all be brand new going against some teams that already hit strides in Buffalo and Kansas City and Cincinnati. So it would be a tough test, I think, even if they get Aaron Rodgers.
So your entire career was with New England. It was a defensive-leaning culture with Brady. They had good offensive players, but Scarnecchia, it was O-line, Brady, and defense. I think the Jets are talented, but it's an offensive pivoting league, and most of their top players right now are defensive players. Aaron's had Mike McCarthy, offensive guy. Matt LaFleur, offensive guy. The offense has been better than the defenses. Do you think that'll be a little adjustment moving to a defensive coach, a defensive culture? I mean, that's what the Jets do, right? Like their coach sees the world of football, run it, no mistakes. Do you think that'll be difficult? Because Tom always could handle that, knowing that Belichick wasn't going to let him do what he wanted to do. Do you think Aaron could struggle with that?
I think one of the things is in New England, it was a goal every year. It was to win a Super Bowl, and that's all anybody cared about. Like Tom has 7 Super Bowl rings because that's what he cared about most. I think for Aaron Rodgers and Hackett, you get to run the offense. There's not going to be somebody coming in telling you, do this, do that, put this in the game plan. You'll get to do exactly what you want to do on offense with no other hands in the pot trying to stir and mix things up. So, yeah, it'll be a defensive team and all of that. But I think from an offensive mind, you want to be able to prepare during the week, draw up a game plan, and go execute it without a bunch of people telling you what you can and can't do. So I'll be interested to see how much leeway they do get to just go out there, score points, and play and win. And I think you won't know that until it's 4 weeks in, 5 weeks in, how they're playing offensively. If they're rocking and rolling, Salah's not going to say anything. He's going to let them go out there, score points. I'm going to come out here as a defense, turn the ball over, get you the ball back, keep scoring. And I think my time in New England, that's what it was about. Play good defense, get turnovers, get the ball back to Brady, and they're going to score points. And I think we averaged like 30 points a game when Brady was there, whether it was with Billy O'Brien or Josh McDaniels. They score points and we play good defense.
Lamar Jackson, do you have sympathy for Lamar Jackson, or do you feel like, hey, you don't have an agent, you're dealing with a parent, it gets personal? We were told yesterday by somebody close to the situation that, Lamar's like, I'm better than Deshaun Watson. I want guaranteed money. I get that. But that's why you have agents, to take kind of the arrows from the GM and the owner. Do you feel sympathy for him? Or do you think, hey, man, you've let this thing go on. You didn't hire an agent. Maybe this is the dilemma that you could have predicted.
I think NFL is there's no like I don't send for the Packers because Aaron Rodgers is waiting to make a decision. And I don't have sympathy for Lamar Jackson because of how this has played out. I think he's going to have to continue to assess the situation and do what's best. I don't think he should go out there and play on the tag of $32 million because of how talented he is, what he's done in this league, and all of the risks you take as a player going out there and playing on a one-year deal with that guaranteed money. I believe it's $32 million.
Yeah.
So, yeah, him not having an agent wouldn't be my route, but that's what he's decided and chosen. So I think for him, he needs to continue to do what's best for him, not going out there and taking that kind of emotion that we heard at the end of the year, do it for the guys. This is what, no, do what's best for you in business, because that's what every team will always do, what's best for business. And I think as a player, he has to do the same thing.
Free agency is dicey, Devin, as you know. Even the Patriots, well run, bought in some guys, didn't work. You don't know the odometer. There may be an injury that hasn't been disclosed. They may not have the work ethic of your culture. Sometimes a guy can look good on tape. You get him in the building, and he doesn't buy into his assistants. Free agency is great for me. It's great news. I love it. But it doesn't equal wins. I think Denver's absolutely improved their offensive line this week. That I know. Everything else, I kind of roll my eyes at. You tell me, when you bring new guys in, and a lot of times they're paid more than the guys already in the room. There's a little, you're shaking your head. What do you make of free agency?
Yeah, this time every year, my whole 13-year career, except for 1 year in 2021, every New England Patriot fan used to be livid. They would want to see the names that, all the beat reporters and all the insiders would talk about, all of the weeks leading up to free agency. I want to see that on, and there would never be anything. It'd be a guy or two that fit a need. And I think that's what free agency is. You have to build a team through the draft. You have to build through your culture, what you need to do. And then you have to determine at the end of each year, all right, what are some roles that we can fill that a free agent can come in? I think of 2017, we signed Stephon Gilmore to a big contract. There were a lot of guys in the locker room, because Malcolm Butler was also getting close to free agency, who were like, well, why wouldn't we pay Malcolm that? And sometimes as a player, you don't fully understand what's going to happen. But we knew right away when Gilly came in there and we got to training camp, we were like, oh, this dude can cover. Right. He's different. And he filled a need at corner. But we didn't have a ton of those guys coming at once. And I think when you see teams go crazy in free agency and they bring so many guys in, like you just said, every guy's not going to work out. So you're probably not going to have that dreamy season that everyone thinks you're going to have in March. When you get all those guys, it's usually around December, where now everybody's evaluating, saying, this was not good. This was good. But, it's usually maybe 2 guys and 3 guys at max that have huge impacts, in one single year of free agency. Okay,
so you just announced your retirement. You bought 37 billboards throughout the Boston area to thank the fans for 13 years. That's a remarkable gesture by you. Last year was bumpy. I defended Mac Jones. I think it's ridiculous to give a young quarterback a defensive coordinator. It's tone deaf. You got to help these young guys. If you were a young cornerback in the league and I gave you a wide receiver coach, that's just not appropriate. I think Mac bounces back. What do you suspect happens this year?
Yeah, guys have been killing me when I keep going on, different shows and talking about Mac. I think the same thing. I think he's going to now get to pair up with Billy O'Brien, a guy who they both have familiar friends and acquaintances with because of Billy O's time at Alabama and obviously Mac's time at Alabama. And I think that relationship is going to start to build right now in the offseason. I've been in the building. I've been, doing rehab, and I've seen Mac in there, working out, doing different things. And I didn't ask him, but probably obviously meeting with Billy O and talking about, what they want to do as an offense. And I think those are all the beginning processes to building just a good relationship. And I think from there, once training camp starts, you continue to just kind of build up. And I'm excited for Mac. He's a young guy who's always hungry. He's always trying to find the next avenue to get better. And I think we're going to see him have, I think a lot of growth compared to last year. But I think we're going to see a lot of what we saw, his rookie year, the potential. I think he's going to show some of that this year. And I'm excited to watch.
All right, show that picture again, guy. 37 billboards throughout greater Boston. You're such a class guy, Devin. I love that.
I appreciate it.
You're such a class guy. Giving back to the fans. Good luck to you going forward. Appreciate you coming on. 37 billboards, by the way. That ain't cheap.
I know some good people. Man. Some good people out here.
All right, Devin, thank you. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.